Good evening, Oswego, and thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Jackson.
And I'm Kara Vermold.
A Fabius man was killed and a woman in Syracuse was attacked by a dog.
And a student was robbed in Syracuse, and the new Oswego School District Superintendent has officially been appointed. We will have more on these stories in just a minute, but first, a quick check of your weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Rob Camille.
Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kara. And good evening, Oswego meteorologist Rob Camille here with a quick look at your forecast right now. Outside the campus center here at SUNY Oswego, it is a wonderful night here on campus. Clear skies, maybe a passing cloud or two, all the stars are out. It's a little bit cool, though. Mercury is at 29 degrees right now, and the winds are pretty calm, a complete contrast from what we've been seeing over the past couple days with a lot of that rain and wind around campus. It's pretty quiet on the radar as well, not just in central New York, but around the rest of New York State as well, and by extension, the entire northeastern United States, and that's pretty much the way it's going to stay for the next couple of days. Clear skies, sun and clouds, temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 50s, but there is some rain in your forecast. When's it going to be coming to central New York, and how long is it going to stay? I'll have your full forecast coming up in about 10 minutes. Right now, I'm going to send it back to the desk with Matt and Kara.
Tragic news out of Syracuse. A Fabius man was killed Sunday after he tried to help the driver of a disabled vehicle on Interstate 690 in Syracuse. Ryan Dennerly, 27, stopped to help another driver after he saw an Audi pulled onto the side of I-90. When standing in front of the Audi, a driver crashed into the back of it, thus striking Dennerly, and he was later pronounced dead at the Upstate University Hospital.
A Syracuse University student was robbed early this morning. According to an alert from Syracuse University Department of Public Safety, the robbing took place around 2 a.m. by a man who claimed he had a knife. The student was robbed after walking alone on Ostrom Ave when the suspect took the student's keys and wallet. After the incident, the suspect fled east toward Thorndon Park, away from campus. There were no reports of serious injuries. Anyone with information about the crime is asked to call the Syracuse Police Department at 442-5222 or the Syracuse University Department of Public Safety at 443-2224.
A Syracuse teenager entered the Beverage Baron convenience store on Ballytine Road Sunday afternoon, bleeding profusely from her face, legs, and neck. The 16-year-old girl said she was jumped by her stepsister in their home, and she was pinned down so a pit bull could attack her. According to Ahmad Padwan, owner of the Beverage Baron, he stated, quote, "I thought someone had tried to kill her," unquote, but officers still think that Mr. Padwan's story sounds a little off from the report made by the teenager. No arrests have yet been made.
Benjamin Halsey has officially been appointed the new Oswego City Superintendent. Halsey was appointed earlier this week and will start as new superintendent on December 2nd. He is currently the superintendent of North Collins Central School in southern Erie County. Halsey said he is grateful for the opportunity to serve as the Oswego School Superintendent and that it is a great honor.
A Syracuse teenager was hospitalized Sunday morning after he was shot in the arm at the intersection of West Lafayette Avenue and Cannon Street. According to Sergeant Tom Connellian, the young man has been taken to Upstate University Hospital, and this is the third time this young man has been shot in the last 2 years due to gang-related violence. Sergeant Conlon also said Chapman's injuries are not considered life-threatening.
Several people have been injured in a 3-vehicle crash in Madison County. The crash occurred around 7:20 p.m. Thursday night on Middle Road in the town of Stockbridge. State police say Samuel Lyman was driving a pickup when he had stopped at the intersection and his foot slipped off the brake, hitting the accelerator and entering the intersection. A car driven by Walter Barono was unable to avoid hitting the truck. The force of the impact caused the truck to slide into another car driven by James Bean. Lyman, Barono, and 2 passengers were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No tickets have been issued.
Oswego seniors will be able to start registering for classes tomorrow, followed by juniors, sophomores, and then finally freshmen. A study showing students in the same academic year may register long before their peers, which is sometimes the result of bringing college credits they obtained through high school. The National Center for Education Statistics released a report saying that about 1.3 million U.S. high school students took classes for college credit during the 2010-2011 school year, a 67% increase in the last 8 years.
A miniature Zamboni is the product of a student group on campus called Team Mini. You might have seen the mini Zamboni shooting t-shirts into the crowd at a hockey game, but this is only one of the different projects Team Mini is working on. According to Team Mini President Andrew Wager, they are working on designing and creating a new and improved miniature Zamboni. The newest aspect of the Team Mini is the incorporation of Vex Robotics. The group is keeping busy registering a team with Vex and preparing for a robotics tournament they will be hosting on November 16th.
Every month at SUNY Oswego, a new planetarium show is shown at the Shinneman Center.
Ian Dembling gives us a scoop on the theme for this month's show.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ian Dembling here with WTOP 10 News. I'm standing here outside of 223 Shinneman Hall here at SUNY Oswego. Now, this is no ordinary classroom. This happens to be a state-of-the-art planetarium as part of the brand new Richard S. Shinneman Center. Every week, the astronomy program puts on a free planetarium show with a new theme each month. The theme for November's show is Comets and Asteroids. Dr. Scott Roby will take viewers on a ride through the asteroid belt on the comet Ison. The planetarium can seat up to 50 people, but Roby will always have an 8 p.m. showing if there is an overflow of people. On Sunday night, students, faculty, alumni, and local Oswego residents came for the first show of the month, but the most energetic audience members were the kids. Do you have a planetarium at your school?
No.
No, but you like science though, right?
Yes.
So this is a really great opportunity for you, right?
Yes.
Awesome, thanks. For a guaranteed fun time for all ages, make sure you check out the free planetarium showing every Sunday night at 7 at the Shinneman Center. For WTOP 10 News, Ian Dembling reporting.
Coming up after the break, the New York City Marathon took place today.
And Rob Camille will have your weekly weather forecast.
I'm lucky. I get to do something I love.
How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork?
I help keep kids in school,
Good.
and that's the name of the game.
My name is LaDania Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
We are the Tigers from Heck 885. And you are watching WTOP. Yeah.
Attention students and faculty. Avery Rental Properties is now renting for the next school year. Avery accommodates all group sizes, small or large. Avery Rental Properties. Make our house your home. 24-hour maintenance, garbage removal, snow removal, and off-street parking. Avery Rental Properties. 315-343-5005.
The 2013 Louis B. O'Donnell Media Summit. Moderated by ESPN sports broadcaster and class of '87 Steve Levy. Coming to Waterman Theater November 6th. Stay connected by visiting mediasummit.org for updates.
My husband! Where's my husband?
Stop.
What's she doing? 2,
She was a passenger. So I was T-boned on the passenger side.
We just had some wine. I wasn't even drunk, I was just buzzed.
What? You were just buzzed. Well, so you didn't tell us that. In that case, she's just fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Nine minutes past 10 in the evening. Good evening, Oswego Storm Team 10 meteorologist Rob Camille here with a full look at your forecast right now outside the campus center. Very nice outside, clear skies. You can go out and see the stars if you like. It's going to be a little bit chilly though. 29 degrees is where the mercury sits right now, but thankfully those strong Oswego winds that we've been seeing for the past couple of days have dissipated. The wind is very calm right now. Your top weather headlines for this Sunday evening. We've got one more cold day to deal with, and that is tomorrow with temperatures still on the unseasonably chilly side for most of the day. The sun does stick around for a bit starting tomorrow and then going into your midweek, and it gets a lot milder. Temperatures start to warm up a lot, but the rain does return as we get to the end part of your week, and I'll touch on that in just a little bit. Right now, around the rest of the state, your temperatures right now, the warm spot is in the Big Apple, New York City checking in at 40 degrees. Most of the state is in the low 30s, in some cases in the mid to upper 20s, 28 degrees in Jamestown and in Glens Falls, 29 in Plattsburgh, and your cold spot right now, 23 degrees in Watertown, New York. Now your radar, though, radar is pretty quiet throughout the entirety of New York State as well as the rest of the northeastern United States. And this is the way it's going to stay at least for the next couple of days. High pressure is still in control over much of the northeastern United States and into northern New England and southern Canada. This is still going to keep that cold air in place that we've been seeing throughout this entire weekend, but the sun and clouds are going to remain. The good news is that the cold air is also on its way out. We've got some milder air moving in from the south and west. It's going to bring those temperatures up to early fall or even spring-like temperatures at this point. Now, look, going into your midweek, though, the jet stream does dip down into the Midwest a little bit, and that does make way for some rain because of this low pressure system to move to the east into the Great Lakes region, into central New York by Wednesday night into Thursday. Now, this is going to be predominantly rain as far as the precipitation goes when this front moves in, but some places, particularly in the Tug Hill Plateau and places north of the New York State Thruway, there could be a chance you could see a couple flakes of snow out there, but we will definitely bring that information to you once it's becoming a little bit clearer as we get later on into the week. For tonight, though, partly cloudy, definitely chilly out there, so definitely bring a jacket if you're going to be going outside this evening. Low tonight of 31. Winds are still going to be pretty calm, northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow for most of central New York, partly cloudy, still a little bit chilly. 44 degrees is what we're thinking of, but some places could be on either side of that mark, either into the upper 40s or the lower 40s in some spots. Winds are still pretty calm out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Timing out your day tomorrow, if you're waking up early, 8 o'clock in the morning, tuning into Top of the Morning with Megan Roberts and Jack Tieber. 30 degrees to start your day. Very chilly, but the sun is out. That is some good news as we go into your mid-afternoon, early afternoon, into your lunch hour. Temperatures definitely warm up into the 40s, bright and sunny throughout most of the day. Sunset tomorrow is at 4:53 because of daylight savings time ending. We're back to standard time now, so the sun is going to set by 5 o'clock. We're going to hit your high of 44 at around the 3 o'clock hour. We're going to go back down into the upper 30s as we go into your early evening. Tomorrow night, pretty much the same story as it is tonight. Low to mid-30s, partly cloudy skies. The winds are going to pick up a little bit out of the southeast now, between 10 and 15 miles per hour. Now, as we look at your 5-day forecast, that is the story for the early part of your week. Temperatures go up into the low to mid-50s, occasionally even hitting the 60-degree mark as we get to your Wednesday. Winds are also going to pick up by then as well. But as we get into the later part of your week, that system starts to move into the area. The temperatures start to drop a little bit into the mid-50s and then back down to the mid-40s. And as you can see, by Friday, there is a chance that we could see some rain and snow mix in some areas. Can't entirely rule out a chance that some areas like Watertown, getting into Pulaski, could see some snow with the system. But for the most part, the early part of your week is going to be great. Later part of the week, not so much.
Yeah, the temperatures keep going. Like tonight, it's so chilly, and then Wednesday, it's going right back up to 59
It's going to be back
degrees.
up to 60. It's like a roller coaster right here in Oswego, and it's like every fall, it's the same thing. It's like, it's really warm, it's really cold, it's really warm again, and now it's really cold, and it's going to be warm again. So it's just something we have to get used to here in Oswego.
I'm just glad it was daylight savings time finally. I was so glad I gained an hour of sleep.
I know, everybody was. It was just like midterms are over. It's like, yes, I get to sleep. So we do lose an hour of sunlight, though, which is unfortunate. But that's okay in the long run.
It's something I'll deal with. I mean, after a long weekend, Halloween weekend,
yeah, exactly.
College.
Exactly.
It's a long weekend, getting an hour of sleep really helped out.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Rob.
Well, now let's take a look at your state and national news.
After a one-year hiatus, the New York City Marathon returned Sunday with a different priority, security. It went off without a hitch as 47,000 runners raced through the 5 boroughs and past cheering crowds. Last year's marathon was canceled because of damage from Superstorm Sandy. Police were especially focused on security in part because of April's bombings at Boston's marathon, which left 3 people, dead and more than 260 injured. Today's event went great, and a Kenyan male and female won gold in their separate divisions.
Senator Chuck Schumer endorsed Hillary Rodham Clinton for president during a speech Saturday night at an Iowa Democratic Party dinner. Schumer says that it's time for a woman to be president, and Hillary's experience is unrivaled and her vision unparalleled. Polls suggest that Clinton would be the leading contender for the Democratic nomination if she were to run. Clinton told New York Magazine that she was wrestling with whether or not to run again. Many top Democrats have been urging Clinton to run. Other Democratic candidates seeking the 2016 nomination include Vice President Joe Biden, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley.
A terminal at Birmingham Shuttlesworth International Airport in Alabama was briefly evacuated Sunday. The airport said on its social media website, The evacuation was prompted by a threat made at roughly 4 p.m. The terminal was secured and operations have since resumed. The evacuation commenced just after a gunman opened fire in Los Angeles International Airport, killing a TSA officer and wounding 3 other people. We have more information on this developing story later on the rundown. We now have more information on the shooting at Los Angeles Airport that left a TSA officer dead and several others wounded Friday.
The FBI says Paul Anthony Chiachina shot TSA officer Gerardo Hernandez and then returned to shoot him again. Martha Shade has the latest on the FBI's investigation.
Federal prosecutors are now filing criminal charges against 23-year-old Paul Anthony Ciancia. He's accused of opening fire with an assault rifle inside LAX's Terminal 3, killing 39-year-old TSA officer Gerardo Hernandez and wounding several others.
And fired multiple rounds at point-blank range at the TSA officer.
Hernandez's wife spoke briefly to reporters.
Gerardo would have been 40 next week. I am truly devastated.
A man who came face-to-face with the gunman says the suspect seemed to be looking for TSA employees.
The shooter just calmly walking down the corridor. He had his gun and he looked at me and he said, "TSA?" And I just shook my head and he kept going.
Eventually, the FBI says law enforcement shot and wounded the gunman. The FBI says a note on the suspect at the time of the shooting made his intent to harm the TSA very clear.
He addressed them at one point in the letter and stated that he wanted to, quote, instill fear into their traitorous minds.
The FBI served search warrants Friday at the suspect's home in LA and New Jersey. Law enforcement officials say Ciancia, originally from Pennsville Township, New Jersey, sent text messages telling family that he was unhappy and discouraged living in Los Angeles.
The text message was just a message to the little brother, and the way it was written, they had some concern about it, and that's when they brought it to our attention.
Pennsville police say Ciancia had no history of violence or record of mental illness. I'm Martha Shade reporting.
Coming up, Dan and I will give us some information on the Oswego State Classic taking on place this weekend.
And don't miss a full look at your sports with Jordan Dietrich. But first, here's a look at your late night menu.
The forest is precious. One careless act caused by people and its beauty could be gone for a lifetime. Protect our friends in the forest.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The 2013 Louis B. O'Donnell Media Summit. Moderated by ESPN sports broadcaster and Class of '87 Steve Levy. Coming to Waterman Theater November 6th. Stay connected by visiting MediaSummit.org for updates.
Every night before the show, me and the guys, we like to loosen up a little bit.
Blue 42, hike!
Every now and then, Dan likes to take it a little too far. But hey, the show's all about competition, so we'll take it.
Stupid Dan with stupid football and stupid running.
Hi, I'm CNN's Rob Marciano, and you're watching WTOP 10, your television station.
Attention students and faculty. Avery Rental Properties is now renting for the next school year. Avery accommodates all group sizes, small or large. Avery Rental Properties. Make our house your home. 24-hour maintenance, garbage removal, snow removal, and off-street parking. Avery Rental Properties. 315-343-5005.
I'm lucky. I get to do something I love.
How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork?
I help keep kids in school.
Good.
And that's the name of the game.
My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
This weekend was the first ever Oswego Women's Classic tournament for the women's hockey team. Dan I is in the studio to tell us more about it. What's new, Dan?
All right, thanks, guys. Well, this weekend was the first Oswego State Classic for women's hockey, and on a weekend when hockey really got things going with the men's team getting their first 2 SUNYAC games, the women's team got to pick up their first two wins of the year. 3 teams came into the Campus Center with the Castleton State Spartans and Cortland Red Dragons getting things started yesterday at 11 a.m. Castleton won that game by a score of 1-0 off of an early goal, and they really held on. They started to control the play later on, and in the second game, the New England College Pilgrims came into town to face the new-look Oswego State Lakers. Oswego showing off many of its new freshman recruits with 3 of them scoring goals, giving them the win 5-0 over New England, and that set up today's games. At noon, Cortland took on New England, and after a game that went a little bit back and forth, Cortland getting the first goal to go up 1-0. After that, Cortland then managed to pull ahead and got the win 4-1. Then in the afternoon game at 3 o'clock, what would be considered the championship of this tournament, Castleton State and Oswego took a barn burner right down to the end as Castleton State tied the game at 2 late in the third period. And after that, you saw the game go to overtime. And in overtime, Megan Hagg, getting the assist from Lizzie Marks, manages to put things away 3:31 into overtime. Oswego comes away victorious in this tournament by a score of 3-2 in overtime. All right, guys. Well,
Dan, it seemed like it was a really good tournament. The Oswego State Lakers 2-0 in the tournament. I mean, how do you think you were impressed with them?
Absolutely. This team has a lot of new faces, bringing in 9 new freshmen, and they actually over-recruited. They have a couple of scratches this year. And a new change in goaltending. That battle is going to be interesting. But I know Jordan's going to talk more about the individual games for Oswego later. But really it was interesting to see this tournament and the overall atmosphere of good hockey being played outside of just the men's team. And there were some fans that came out, and it's kind of an undiscovered gem, this women's hockey team for the Lakers.
Definitely was an undiscovered gem. I mean, Bridget Smith and Catherine Cote, just both the goaltenders of this team are just solid.
Absolutely. And last year, after seeing Bridget Smith hold the starting job right up until the very end, Catherine Cote, the senior, gets her chance. She gets to come back in this year. She got the win yesterday, and the team was real fired up about that, you could see. And then today, Bridget Smith getting the nod, and Tori Travado, the sophomore, waiting in the wings. Her time is right around the corner. You know that she's going to be ready to go. But the most impressive, if you look at this team, was the offense. Last year, they only scored a little less than 2 goals per game, which, for those of you who don't know, is fairly low. And if you're averaging less than you're letting in, things aren't going to look good for you. This year, 8 goals between the first 2 games. Their offense back to where they need it to be.
Definitely good.
Yeah, definitely. That's very impressive, and congratulations to them. So thank you so much for joining us, Dan.
No problem.
A new brewing company is to open in Oswego in the historic Woodruff building. The new brewing company will be named the Cellar Door Brewing Company and be located on the corner of West 1st Street and Cayuga Street. Tom Miller is the developer of the new project and grew up in Oswego. Although the brewery will not serve food, Miller plans to style the cellar door similar to Syracuse's Empire Brewing Company and brewpub chain Gordon Biersch. The building will also house a yoga studio, 6 residential apartments, and a newly opened deli. Miller is hoping to open April 1st.
And now a full look at sports with Jordan Dietrich.
Lakers got to see some college hockey this weekend. It was a rough start for the 2013-2014 Oswego State men's season as the Lakers fell Friday night to Fredonia State 3-2 in overtime. This was a first season opening loss for the Lakers since 2008 and 2009 season, and its first home opening loss since 2007-2008. It was a different story Saturday night against Buffalo State as an aggressive Lakers team triumphed over the Bengals 3-2. With a lot of new-look freshman faces, it was goalie Mark Zawadzki who stood out amongst the Frenchmen, making 24 saves in his first career game as a Laker. The Lakers look to keep the puck rolling against SUNY Cortland Saturday at 7 p.m. The Oswego State women's hockey team proved to the men's counterpart why girls rule and boys drool. Taking the ice for the first time this season Saturday against the Oswego State Classic, it was a dominant performance, shutting out New England College 5-0. It was freshman shooting spree Bridget Hamlin, Erica Churishki, and Ashley Lehman, who tickled the twine for their first career Laker goals. Today's game versus Castleton State was a thriller, as senior Megan Haig put the puck between the pipes in overtime for the 3-2 win. It was the first time since 2009-2010 that the Lady Lakers started the season off 2-0. With senior Olivia Borson earning MVP honors and Megan Haig honored with All-Team Classic. The Lady Lakers look to stay undefeated when they head to Potsdam this Saturday at 3 p.m. Now, let's take a look at Dietrich's NFL Minute. See me having some technical difficulty. Oh, we're back. Looking into it.
That's it.
Where's video? Where's video? Where's video? As now RG3 fumbles interception, but it's now in the Chiefs game. Now looking at the Bills game, Jeff, with many tools in his back pocket, looks for Marquise Goodwin, has him the 59-yard touchdown. Oh, as the Bills are looking to win this game, but ultimately they don't, as the Chiefs get the last lap, 23-13. Moving to the Saints and Jets game, Geno Smith fakes the option, looking as he runs, and puts on a great move as he gets into the touchdown, as the Jets go up 20-14, as the Jets win 26-20. Looking at the next game, Cam Newton. Cam Newton makes moves and more moves as he throws a pass to Steve Smith, 23 yards, as the Panthers end up winning 34-10. Looking to our next game, it was Nick Foles who looking for Florida alum Riley Cooper. Looking for him. There it is, the pass, 63 yards to the paint, as the Eagles, behind Nick Foles' 7 touchdowns, win 49-20. Now that's it for sports, and later in the show we'll have a live look at the Colts versus Texan game. But now let's send it back to the news desk.
Thanks, Jordan. Coming up, 3 men drive across the country in record time to find out how they did.
But first, take a look at your community calendar.
Get your Smokey on. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Because 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Down 70-35, and the Cougars were getting smoked like a cheap cigar.
So what sets the rundown apart from other newscasts is that it brings students together to voice their opinions on the world's most important political issues.
There seems to be just more events going on in 2012 than there were in previous years combined.
This nation is based on the foundation that we choose the government.
Do we use 1, 2, and 3? We work hard to bring you the most up-to-date, relevant coverage of the stories you should be following. The country has now gone over the fiscal cliff.
Is gun control necessary? How much is too much?
Does it surprise you that it's taken this long to have a serious talk about gun control? Students need to realize that this is the time when what's going on in Capitol Hill and around the world starts to affect them.
And really, the fate of the entire country is at hand here.
This is it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go camera 2.
Good evening and welcome to The Rundown. I'm Megan Roberts.
Attention students and faculty. Avery Rental Properties is now renting for the next school year. Avery accommodates all group sizes, small or large. Avery Rental Properties. Make our house your home. 24-hour maintenance, garbage removal, snow removal, and off-street parking. Avery Rental Properties. 315-343-5005.
So, Rob, what's the weather like looking outside?
Well, it's really good tonight. It's going to be really great tomorrow. Still going to be pretty cold, though. High temperature of 44, but the sun and clouds are going to stay out all day long. It's going to be a great day on campus.
How about the football game?
Texans 21, Colts 6, third quarter.
All right, Kara, anything else? No, nothing? Okay, good. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone, from TOP. I'm Matt Jackson. Kara
Steve.
Vormbold.
Yes.